Hi everyone, welcome. Finally, we are publishing our review video of the V8 mod for rFactor 2. So this is the FVR V8SC mod for rFactor 2. It includes the seasons of 2014 and 2015. During this long video we are bringing to you, we will talk about the mod, who worked with this mod, and we will provide you our opinion, also with some information throughout the video, and our review comment, although to then view our votings from 1 to 5 stars on each of the items we classify for this review. You will have to visit our OnWheelsTV.com website. You will find the link here in the remarks, in the YouTube remarks, in the info about the video. You will find that link to our OnWheelsTV website, most specifically, or more specifically, to the post where this video is allocated on our website. So this is the V8 for rFactor 2. rFactor worked in this mod, or built this mod from scratch. It has been receiving from time to time very specific updates, and it has been improving tremendously with all those updates, which means they are working in a proper manner with this content. So first of all, let us talk to you, or tell you who has the credits for this work. So Ferret40 worked on the skins and templates for this mod, D-Benz won on the physics, Larry on the physics and tires, Bebop01 on the sounds, and Flash QLD in the models and scripting. Also FVR thanks special access members, because they were in charge of the testing and fault finding during the development that continues also today, the development of this content. So these were the guys that worked in this content. This content is available, as we mentioned, on the well, we didn't mention that, but we will say now, this is available on the rFactor.com website. In the downloads area you will find this mod for several platforms. Also there are plans of including the mod also for other platforms that are already mentioned on the website, but the mod is not yet available to all those platforms, being that platforms we mean sims. So the mod is available for rFactor 2, which is the case we are interested in for this video. Is available with the seasons of 2014 and 2015 in a mod, and separately with the 2012 season also, but this is relating to the 2014-2015, and you are watching footage right now in Barbagallo, already with the simulation of a race. We did this throughout the video. You will watch 2 simulations of races. This one we are using the soft tire for this track. We used the soft tire, we noticed that starting from 10 laps it starts suffering, and then it decreases tremendously in the performance. But we will be addressing that also throughout the video. So this is the 2015 season, so you are watching the skins of the 2015 cars, which means that in this 2015 season there's one of the brands that is not available. One of the brands, which is a Mercedes, is available only in the 2014 season. This is the only mod for simulation. It is on rFactor 2, but it's the only mod for simulation that includes all the cars currently competing, or that competed in 2014, because Mercedes is not racing the series anymore. All the cars that are competing in this championship in real life. So it's the only proper simulation of the championship, although here it has obviously a different name. The mod uses two seasons, 2014, 2015. It has the brands Holden, Ford, Volvo, Mercedes and Nissan, being that the Mercedes is only available in the 2014 season. There are skins of several cars, of the cars that competed in these 2 seasons, and there are plans of releasing the 2016 season also with the skins from that season. There are 3 types of tires, hard, soft and wet. We worked with all of them. We will be providing you opinion on how the car performs, or how the cars perform with all those tires, and throughout this video you will be watching footage of us driving in all the 5 brands. So first we start with the Holden. We are driving the car which is raced in real life by Craig Lowndes, or was in 2014, in 2015 driven by Craig Lowndes, but we will be driving all the 5 brands. So this is, first of all, this is one of our favorite mods. It is not perfect. It is not perfect in terms of the physics. It is not perfect in terms of the graphics, but the fun it provides and the challenge it provides, because these cars are difficult to drive, makes this one of our favorite mods. We do love this mod. We would love to, and when I say now we, I mean myself, I would love to race, for instance, a championship with this mod. Tried to convince some of my friends which host championships to do so. So far wasn't successful, which is a tremendous disappointment for me, because I believe this is an amazing mod for racing. It provides the, at least in my opinion, the extra challenge that is needed in sim racing, because the cars are difficult to drive, are difficult to handle, especially when the tires start losing performance. You need to be fully focused when driving these cars. If it's a 20-lap race, you need to be fully focused on each of the parts of the track throughout the 20 laps, because a small mistake is fatal with this car, and spinning or wheel spinning with this car immediately destroys the tires. So you must not do that, not even once, to have the best performance in the tires, which makes this really difficult, because the cars are difficult to drive. Tremendous challenge, but all those guys that enjoy driving without having too much effort will hate this mod, because the cars are difficult to drive. For me, that is perfect. So we drove these cars at Barbagallo, track from Nibiru. We drove these cars at Adelaide, track from Diga. We drove these cars at Simmons Plains, a track from What a Design. We won't be, as we always do, we won't be publishing the links for the tracks, for downloading the tracks. You'll have to look for them or Google them to find them, because this video is relating to the mod, and therefore we stick with the download links for the mod only. So starting our review, those of you who have been following our reviews know that we have specific areas that we focus on, and let's start with the graphics. Well, as probably you were able to see already, the graphics are not perfect. They are not awful. They have been improving from update to update, so the cars look much better than what they did when this mod first showed up. Well, there you see that I made a mistake. It was not the tires, it was just me. The car, when landed from that small elevation on the track, I didn't get the traction well, lost control of the car, and then after this I come back on track, but the tires are damaged already, because you cannot make this sort of thing with these cars. A spin is destroying the tire. So continuing to what I was saying, we believe that also the quality of the skins has improved that, but the 3D, in our opinion, still needs to improve a little bit. It's almost there, but it's still lacking some quality to be rewarded properly. So you will see that we voted in this area. We voted medium plus in terms of the graphics for this release. In terms of the physics, we do enjoy very much this content. The cars are really challenging to drive, as V8 supercars should be. V8s are really difficult cars to drive, have tremendous power. That is difficult to handle on track, especially in tracks such as these, because we chose for this footage and for this review tracks that are tracks where these cars race in real life, and these are very technical tracks. So we have maybe one high quality racetrack, probably like an autodrome, which is obviously Phillip Island, but then these are we have also Melbourne, but then these cars race in very technical tracks such as Queensland, such as Winton, such as Symonds Plains, such as Barbagallo, such as Pukekohe. So very technical tracks, fantastic in our opinion, perfect location for these cars to race, in my opinion. But tracks are difficult and these cars are difficult to drive. A lot of people will not enjoy this mod because the cars are really difficult to drive, and people tend to say when things are beyond their control, difficult, they tend to say they don't like them. You notice that we are already showing you the Volvo, small footage of the Volvo. We didn't drive the Volvo in any race for this review, but we already raced with it, obviously. But this is just to show you guys the difference in terms of the sounds, because there are different sounds for each engine in these cars. Tremendous work by these guys to build such a technical work, such a huge mod in terms of what it was needed to build it from scratch is not for everyone to do. So these guys have to be congratulated. And we already did that several times during our several videos relating to this mod. So this Volvo you are watching is from the 2014 season, so the 2014 skin pack, and all the cars you watch in this footage of Adelaide are from 2014. Therefore you will also see next also the Mercedes. The physics, we will award the physics on a high level, not the highest, but on a high level, because we really do enjoy the physics of this mod. Also, when we say physics, we involve several types of tires. The cars are, the soft tire is faster, but lasts, well, not lasts, because in fact it doesn't last that long when compared, for instance, with the hard tire. And we had some trouble, you'll see that in the final part of the video, we had some trouble driving the car on wet, but because of the specific conditions that were on track at that time. So let's go to another area, which is sounds. And in terms of the sounds, we are going to have to rate this also average, because the sounds are interesting, are really interesting, the V8 sounds in the cars. We highlight and appreciate that each car has a different sound. We enjoy very much the sound of the Volvo, different from all the others. We enjoy very much the sound of the Mercedes, also different from all the others. So the sounds are different for in all these 5 brands of cars which are in the mod. However, we do hate a lot, and probably you already noticed that watching this video and listening to our voice, and also listening to the voice, to the sound of the cars on track, especially when you are on board. There's some kind of a beating each time you switch gears, that you will notice that several times during the onboard laps, because it happens in all the cars and it's quite annoying. I'm pretty sure they tried to simulate some sound that really happens in the real car, but that was not very well simulated, that part of that beating that you hear, like a knock, pum 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 pum, during that you listen all the time when you are on board, because when you drive the car you are always on board. Only when you see the replays you are watching TV cam footage. So when you drive the car you are always on board, and that noise is annoying, to say the least. So for that matter, we have to rate this in terms of the sounds as average, because if we only had to deal with the sounds of the engines and the sounds of the tires and how the car performs on track, but we did not have that annoying sound also always there, we would enjoy the sounds. But like this, we have to rate it average. You're going to watch to feel that right now when we reduce. Yeah, it's quite annoying. It's something we definitely don't like. Original. Original is when we are classifying a content higher or lower depending on if it was scratch built or if it was converted from another content that was scratch built. In this case, this is definitely a scratch built mod. They developed this from scratch, the physics to all the cars, the 3Ds to all the cars, the sounds to all the cars, the dynamic performance of each car for all the cars, the tire wear for all the cars, and the tire works differently in all these 5 cars, and you will notice that. So for this we are going to have to rate this in terms of the originality of the content. We are going to have to rate this on the highest level possible, because this is not the same as creating a mod that consists only of 1 car. This is developing tremendous various things for 5 different cars. So this is a hell of a lot of work, and they did good work. They have really did very good work here. Some people may not enjoy the 3Ds of the cars, the graphics, how the cars look, but if you consider all that these guys did from scratch for this release, amazing guys, amazing work guys, and therefore in terms of the original, we are going to have this to rate this at the highest possible level. Then there's an area which is what's new, where we are going to not rate at all, because this is a review on the most recent update, which is not that recent. So this is not us talking about an update where there was a specific change log for the mod. No, we are talking about the existing version that has been here for a while. So there is nothing new, and there's if we were reviewing the mod after a recent update, there would definitely be voting on the what's new. So we are not going to rate this at all. AI performance. So AI performance. We drove these cars always with AI. We drove these cars in 3 different tracks, and in 2 of those 3 tracks we simulated races, and the AI is a bit aggressive. Yeah, is a bit aggressive. They are tremendously fast. They are very efficient driving the cars. When they are not fighting, battling for position, when they are battling for position, they are crazy, especially after the start of the race. So these guys battle for braking points as if there were no tomorrow, as if it was the final thing they were going to do in their lives. So this is crazy really. The AI works very well, but in specific situations we did not enjoy because it is crazy. But even so, this AI, we are going to have to rate it average also, because it works really well in specific situations and not so well in other situations. Also, another area is performance in the sim. It works really well. The mod takes use of the current technical skills, shall we say, of the sim, and it works really well. Therefore, we are going to have to rate this averagely good in terms of the performance in the sim. But the mod still needs some work technically, so that the cars may become a little bit more controllable, because it is really easy to quickly lose control of these cars, but that doesn't have anything to do with the performance in the sim. So it takes advantage of what the sim has currently to provide good mods, and therefore it works really well in the sim. Another area we comment on in our reviews is how does this version work when compared with the previous version. And here, when we say the previous version, we have to consider the previous version, the one with the V8's 2012 season, because it is what was available earlier, but basically for rFactor. So this mod obviously has evolved a lot. First of all, it doesn't have only 2 cars, it has 5 different cars, but also obviously rFactor 2 is a lot different than rFactor in terms of the physics, and therefore this is a step up in our opinion. So we are going to rate this on an average plus level because we take into account again that this is scratch built, that these guys had no support from anybody technically speaking, and therefore they had to make their own decisions when creating this content. And if you compare the drivability of these cars comparing to the previous mod available from FVR, this is in our opinion this is definitely a step up. So we are going to rate this average good, also in terms of the when compared with the previous version. This when compared with the previous version works better when we are talking about a mod that was released for rFactor 2 and then a new mod arrives on rFactor 2. So it is an area that does not work to perfection, for instance, for this specific original content for rFactor 2. Yeah, we went with our left rear wheel off track there and lost control of the car, and then it was game over because the tires were gone. Final part of this video is to show you the only car we didn't yet drove during the footage, which was the Nissan, and you are watching it here. It was when we also used the wet tires. We went to Simmons Plains track, a track I definitely enjoy very much, and we set up the sim to work with heavy rain. However, we started driving and the track was still dry when we went on track. Then it started raining when we got out from the pits. It was already raining, but the track was not yet with a lot of water, so this means that it wasn't yet good enough for wet tires. Probably the best choice would be to still be using the slick tires, and that's why this happened. But anyway, these cars seem to be difficult even more to drive with wet tires or under rain. We didn't drive these cars so far with heavy rain and with the track, shall we say, soaked, but in these conditions the car is really hard to drive. I don't know if the cars from the AI were equipped with the soft, with hard or with rain tire. Definitely I think at this time they weren't using the softs, but they had a lot more traction than us, as you can see. We were struggling, and then after a few laps it stopped raining. We were struggling, but we were making ourselves difficult to handle on track, as you can see. I believe that the track at this point had not yet the perfect conditions for the wet tire to work. However, it has been recurring in mods that sometimes the wet tire doesn't work very well. I don't know if it's the case here or if it was just the weather, the track conditions at the time. But we had trouble driving the wet tire in these conditions, and then it stopped raining and there was immediately a dry line throughout the track, and we switched. We had no grip in the dry line and we had no grip in the wet line because I believe that the track was not yet perfect, as I said already several times, for using the wet tire. So we then stopped in the pit. You will be seeing that we stopped in the pit for changing for slicks, and we immediately, starting from our second lap, we were able to, as you can see now, it isn't raining already, and the sun is starting to show up. Makes it even more difficult for the track to be wet. So at a specific time that you will see in the footage, we stopped, we changed for hard tires, and immediately we drove more or less slow the first lap, but then starting from the second lap we were already able to make good lap times, and that kept improving. So the hard and the soft tire really work very well. We tested them thoroughly. Earlier this mod was available with the tires, with the wear of the tire extremely exaggerated. People were complaining that after 3 or 4 laps the tires were already gone. Then they made some changes in the physics of the tires, and it became better. You have to bear in mind that the V8s don't have good management of tires overall, so these guys in real racing, they, after maybe 20 laps, 15 to 20 laps, they change tires. So they do that several times during a race, and here it has to be also the same. So the soft tire, you can use it very well for 10 laps, then it starts degrading, and it comes a point where it degrades really fast, and then you have to change because it's impossible, almost impossible to drive the car. And the hard tire, the tires last longer, but when they are degrading, it is always the same principle. It is they start degrading slow, but then all of a sudden, after 1 or 2 laps, they start degrading really fast, and you have to change. The wets, we didn't drive with the wets that long to know how they actually work in every condition. Here is a situation where we struggled even to go to enter the pits, because this car, when you lose traction with this car, when you lose the rear, it's really difficult to get it back. Car is really heavy, and it is really difficult to get it back. So the thing to do is not to lose the rear. Never. And then there's also another thing you have to bear in mind, is that this car is not to be driven with HATE, with the TC on, ABS on. These guys drive the car pure, no weights whatsoever. You have to manage the car, so it's how it's supposed to be driven, which makes it even more difficult, of course. But we do enjoy very much this mod. It is not perfect in terms of the graphics, it is not perfect in terms of the physics, but it is tremendously fun and tremendously challenging. This is a challenge. You lap after lap, you never know when you are going to go off track, and you have to be really focused when driving this. It is one of the most difficult mods to drive. There you can see that I'm still not having enough good temperature in the tires in them, and I was on the dirty part of the track, so that didn't help. But once you get there on the dry line with this was with the hard tires, once you get there on the dry line, the car starts working good, and immediately you can focus and make good laps. So these cars are difficult to drive. That's why a lot of people will not enjoy this mod, even if they do like the V8s. But the V8s, if you see in all the sims where the V8s are available, it's always not one of the most searched mods to drive, because the cars are difficult, the cars are heavy. It's difficult to it takes some time to understand the weight balance of these cars and how to work with it, and with power and performance, or to reach performance. So people always choose other contents than this one. We love all the V8's content in every sim, and we definitely enjoy very much this mod, because it's the only one where you have all the 5 brands. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.